Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing with Confidence, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. If you're a first time listener, thanks for stopping by. I am your host, Joshua David, and we're always happy to have you with us today. I do have my good friend. He is a good pal. He is the stock master, the mastermind of this operation. He is the knowledge behind investing with confidence, Mr. Al Connickson. Is that a great introduction or what?
For a minute there, I thought you were talking about someone else, but I know I appreciate that.
Hey.
And I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I have a good time doing the show. We have a little bit
Yeah.
of fun. It's too bad we can't get the outtakes and the behind the scenes on the radio here, but sometimes on the
They
YouTube.
would take us off the air, I think, if
You're
some of the
right.
outtakes
On YouTube, they
were
do get to see
broadcast.
some of that.
Yeah.
But it's great to be back talking about the financial markets with our financial family here on the radio. And Al, we had some great moves in the financial markets here this week. The S&P 500 actually, it's been coming off that supply zone we talked about a couple weeks ago, but it came off of that, but now it's back in it this week here.
Mhm.
So we've seen a little drop in the market, a little bit of rebound, a small drop. Now we're kind of in wait and see mode. There was some high inflation numbers
Yeah, sure were.
on Thursday mornings. What is 7.5%?
Yeah,
The highest in
7.5, highest in
40 years.
40 years,
That's
since
crazy.
1982.
Tell you what, and you are seeing that everywhere. The grocery store, you're seeing it wherever you go buy things, and that's what I want to talk about here today on Investing with Confidence is how we can use skills and knowledge and build it into a plan to combat this inflation, to combat what's going on in the markets, to really not have to worry about what is my advisor doing. Maybe do it yourself. Take
Mhm.
charge in your finances, Al. So let's talk about a few different things here. I know we have some stocks that you want to get into here today, but here's the first segment. Let's recap on what's going on in this wild market.
Yeah, well, the inflation issue is huge, and we've been waiting for a while here to see if the numbers would go up, which they certainly did. The forecast was for a 0.4% increase, and actually was a 0.6% increase,
Yeah.
and that was much higher than expected, obviously. So now the question is, when the Fed meets and they raise interest rates in March, initially we figured there would be quarter point increases. Now, the Fed may have to raise a half a point and
Yeah.
maybe raise more than some people thought.
Well,
So,
just real quick, how could that impact the markets or the economy?
well, for one thing, the stocks that have really driven this market basically since 2009 have been the growth stocks, the technology stocks. Technology stocks and growth stocks are not going to do as well in a high inflationary period.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those companies rely on debt to grow the companies. They're still in that growth mode, which means it takes some capital to do that. So a lot of companies have to borrow money. The cost of borrowing is going to go up.
Yeah, less
Uh,
borrowing then.
Yeah, that's huge. So the inflation, and the Fed initially tried to convince us that inflation was transitory, and that by
It's
the
a
end
beautiful
of
word, isn't
yeah,
it?
and by the end of 2022, the interest rates would go down, inflation would go down. Now it's looking more like for the full 2022 and maybe into 2023, we're going to be paying more for things. What really rose in this last report was rent, food, and gas. Pretty important things for most people.
Yeah, I think in California, what are they paying? $5 a gallon, $6 a gallon?
Yeah, and that really you have to look at that as a tax on people, and the real impact is on people that are not very wealthy, middle class, lower class people. That's a huge cost to them. If you have to drive somewhere, which most people do,
Yep.
that gas is going to impact you, and also when you think about it, oil, petroleum, gas, all of those things are used not just to fuel your car, but in almost every aspect of our life. So the inflation is going to have a huge impact on what goes on, but there's going to be kind of a tug of war now between the inflation, higher interest rates, and earnings of these companies. So people are going to expect higher earnings from companies to kind of validate their value, because a
Mhm.
lot of companies have huge valuations right now. Now they have to prove that they're really that valuation is worthy of where they are.
Yeah, and also I saw in a report here, I think it was Thursday, about e-commerce. The e-commerce deals or revenue has increased, drastically, which really means there's more buying online. But
Correct.
if people are buying online, then some of these stores might be going out of business, which some people might be losing jobs, and that's why it's so important to I guess, in my opinion, to have multiple sources of cash flow for coming through, Al. So let's talk real quick for about a minute here about why, what are some assets that investors can discover to have strategies for income?
Well, that's a great point. I think income, when you really kind of break down your financial world, is comprised of two components. One is kind of that income component when you're still working, maybe you're gathering assets, and then the other is that wealth retirement portion of your life where you're it's kind of a distribution phase. But I think the income part of it is important for everybody because while you're still working, having a little bit of extra income to maybe help pay bills, but also to put more into your retirement is important. When you go into retirement, you need to have something to replace the income from your job because those pesky things that show up in your mailbox
Is that a
every
B
day.
word?
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, it's
right.
bills.
It's bills. That's right. They keep coming even when you're retired. Now the income that you had to pay for those bills while you were still working is gone. So that's why it's so important to understand and learn the strategies and assets to generate income. In these classes that you're going to be talking about today, that's exactly what we talk about. How you approach those different parts of your financial life and how you can learn how to generate income short term. That means if you need income, if you need additional cash, it's something that you need on a short term basis, not over a 10, 20, 30-year time period.
Yeah, that's the key is to have those strategies that are designed to do that. And some of those different assets that we talk about, we obviously get into stocks. Everybody knows that. Well, there's things that people are missing out on. Great opportunities with futures and Forex and options. We're going to continue to discuss a little bit of some of those things here today. But I mean, you got to combat these different things. Inflation, as you said, rent is going up. I was actually speaking with a friend not long ago, and their rent went up. I think they said $300.
Well,
Was
it's
it $300
significant.
bucks?
Yeah, rent is,
which
is
is
huge.
which is a
The
big
growth.
jump.
Yeah.
So you have to have strategies that are designed to I guess hedge that,
Mhm.
right? So let's talk about that. You mentioned these classes that we have here at Online Trading Academy. We have 2 hour investing classes locally, and that's one of the things that I think people like is it's a hands-on feel. It's right
Right.
here in Bloomington, talking about how the financial markets work, the strategies that are designed for income, even different retirement strategies as well. So I want to give away some tickets to an investing class here in Bloomington. You actually teach a lot of these,
Right.
especially during the week. We also have these on the weekend. And these are classes where we've taught thousands. Just like you are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make better investing decisions. So callers 1 through 10, call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410. When you call in right now, you're going to receive 2 tickets plus a financial quick start kit, which actually includes some free stock picks. You can also text the word invest to the number 484848. Coming up next, Al, let's talk about some of those
Yep.
stocks that have been dropping that might have some potential buying opportunities, and I guess more market analysis moving forward here. This is Josh and Al investing with confidence. We'll be right back.